Today we're going to do a 60-minute full body barbell workout. You can do this as a follow along with me. This workout is designed to help develop your strength and build an athletic physique. All you need for this workout is a barbell and some plates. Ideally you'd have some squat stands or a squat rack, but you could make do without if you don't have those. We're going to kick things off with a bodyweight warm-up, then we've got 3 main strength sections, then we've got an AMRAP, and we'll finish with some stretches. Let's get started with that warm-up. So we're going to start things off with a squat to good morning. We've got 5 bodyweight exercises to do, and we're going to do 2 rounds. So for the squat to good morning, you want your feet shoulder width apart, you want your hands behind your ears. We're going to start off with that squat. So squat down and then hinge at the hip. Squatting down, hinging at the hip. We're going to alternate these two. It's important to be able to differentiate between a squat and a hinge, because we're going to be doing both within this workout in those barbell strength sections. All right, next up, we've got those arm circles forwards. We're going to do 15 seconds forwards and 15 seconds back. Make sure you're maximizing the range of motion. Trying to just get some blood flowing. Let's take it in reverse now. Warm up the joints before those barbell movements. After these, we're going for some alternating reverse lunges. So you're going to step back, drop that back knee nice and close to the floor. Make sure that front knee isn't collapsing inwards. Good to open these hips out with this one. Okay, we're going to go inchworm. So you're going to hinge at the hip, reach to the toes, walk it out into a press-up position, walk it back, hinge to the top, and repeat. Try and delay the rounding of the back as you come down towards the toes, and keep the legs straight as long as possible on the way up. You're going to lie on your back for the next one. Have your arms out to the side. You're going to do drops to the side. These are called wipers. The key to doing these well is actually to keep the opposite shoulder blade on the floor the whole time. Okay, back to your feet. Got one more round of those, so straight into the squat to good mornings. Make sure your knees stay out on the squat, and lead with the hips pushing back on the good morning. Into the arm circles forwards. And take it in reverse. We'll be doing 4 strength exercises per section today. We've got 3 main sections, but we have got an AMRAP finisher. Okay, into the reverse lunges. So you're going to step back, alternating legs, just opening those hips out. Make sure that front knee is under control. We don't want to cave it in. And a nice low drop. All right, inchworms. So hinge at the hip, touch the toes, walk it out, walk it back, and back up to the top.
onto your back for those wipers next. So knees at 90 degrees, alternating drops to the side. And that's the warm-up complete. We're going to move on to the first strength section now. I'm going to load the bar up with 40 kilograms. That's about 88 pounds. We're going to do some front squats with it, but just load up whatever weight is appropriate for you. Personally, I like to use some straps for my front squats. I find it makes it a bit easier on the wrist. There's a few different techniques. You can go for the conventional front squat, hold. You could go for the cross the shoulder, or you could get these straps, hook them around the bar like this, and it just takes a little bit of pressure off the wrist. So we're going to do 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, doing 4 different exercises, all with this weight, 3 rounds. Starting with that front squat. So control the way down, make sure you get full depth, keep that upper back tight. Knees should be kept out, they shouldn't be collapsing into the center. Always finish your rep, and we've done 30 seconds worth, so we've got 30 seconds on, off. Next up, we're going to be doing a push press. So that's basically a shoulder press, but you're going to be allowed a little bit of leg assistance on the drive. So I like to have my hands just wider than my shoulder width apart. So dip, drive through, back to here, dip down, drive, and back to the collarbone. Little tip, try and keep elbows underneath the bar. The bar should finish above the crown of your head. Give the shoulders a rest and the legs. We're going to go for some alternating V-ups next. So you're going to lie on your back, on a mat, or just on the floor if your floor's not too hard. So we're going to do alternating reaches with the legs, and hands go every time. So one heel is always in contact with the floor. If you're struggling to come all the way up into this V-up position, you can just make it more of a crunch like this, where you're just keeping your lower back on the floor, but still stacking and squeezing your abs. But if you've got the full V-up, that's great. All right. Next up, we've got alternating reverse lunges. Now I'm going to do these with the barbell, but if you struggle with lunges, then maybe opting for just body weight is going to be enough for you. So bar's going to be on my back, alternating reverse lunges, just like we did in the warm-up. Let's go. So stepping back. Back knee should come very close or make contact with the floor. All right. That's round 1 done. So we've got 3 rounds, we've got 45 seconds off. So that should be enough time to have a little bit of water or adjust the weight. If you found that too easy, maybe you found you didn't want the rest intervals, then I suggest that you're just using a weight that's a little bit too light. So just sneak a little extra on. And if it's too hard, do the opposite. You need to go down a bit. So we're going to start back with these front squats. Again, I'm going to use these handy straps. Breathe and brace. Control the way down. Drive on the way up. So count-wise, we want 1, 2, 3, and drive. A little tip for that is don't let your hips rise higher than your chest. So we don't want your hips to rise up, leaving your chest behind. They should rise together in sync. I'm going for that. Push press next. Starting off at the collarbone, elbows under the bar, lock it out at the top. Make sure you're not leaning back too much. Almost tuck the ribs down as you press. Back to the floor now. I'm going to do those alternating V-ups. So hands going every time, legs are going to alternate. Make sure when you're in that open position that your lower back isn't arching off the mat. So even when you come down to your most extended position, you should be keeping some ab tension, stopping that arch from appearing. Onto the lunges next. As you can see, I've got all the gear today. Wrist straps, elbow straps. I've even put some weightlifting shoes on just to help out that mobility. We're gonna go alternating reverse lunge. Don't mind whether you're doing body weight or barbell. Well done. There's 2 rounds done, just 1 to go. After that, we're actually going to increase the weight slightly because we're going to do some exercises which are designed to be done with a heavier load. So these are our moderate to lightweight ones. And each time, if you've got the weights right, you should be able to increase the bar slightly for each section. So not every round, each time we move on to a new section. So back to those front squats. onto that push press next. Make sure you're not overarching when you go for that press. Keep your glutes tucked under slightly at the top. Go on, we can sneak one more in. Ooh. So we've got those alternating V-ups next. Good chance to rest the shoulders a bit. So slight bend in the legs, tight core. So last exercise in this first section, we're gonna go for those alternating reverse lunges. Then we're gonna move onto that second strength section. Make sure you're getting full depth on those lunges. If you can't achieve full depth, either go with body weight only, or if you've got some light dumbbells, maybe you could use some of those instead. Well done. So we got 1 minute off, just enough time to change the weights. So I'm gonna go up to 50 kilos, which is about 110 pounds. You're gonna need to be able to do a back squat, a close grip floor press, a Romanian deadlift, all with this weight. We'll also have a bicycle crunch in there, but obviously that's not with the weight. So same format, we're gonna do 30 on, 30 off for 3 rounds, but we're gonna be using these new exercises. So starting with that back squat, so you should be slightly stronger on your back squat than your front squat. That's why we've gone up in weight. So you should be relatively upright still, but you shouldn't be quite as upright as your front squat, but you shouldn't be as horizontal as the deadlift. So you want it to be somewhere between a front squat and a deadlift back position. Again, if you've got the shoulder mobility, try and get the elbows underneath the bar and rest the bar on your traps, not on your neck bone. Okay, we're gonna bring the bar either onto the floor, or if you've got some stands like me, you can put them onto here, because we're gonna be doing a floor press. We're gonna go for a relatively close grip for these. So anything shoulder width or narrower. Elbows are gonna touch the floor, and then you're gonna press to the top. again, if you've got any massive strength difference between your squats and your presses, you could always substitute out the bar for dumbbells for some of these, but you should be able to do a similar weight. Great job. Next up, we've got a Romanian deadlift. So that's a deadlift where you're isolating the hamstrings a bit more. You're not going to come all the way to the floor. Although we're going to unlock the knees, we're actually going to keep that knee angle consistent or relatively consistent throughout. So you use that hip hinge, keeping the bar really close to your body. So keeping the bar close to your shins and your quads will minimize any stress on the lower back. Obviously, we don't want to round the back forwards, so keep the lats engaged, shoulder blades pinned together. Feet should be straight for this one, no turn out of the toes. And then finally, we've got what I'm going to call a controlled bicycle crunch. So it's not your conventional bicycle crunch. You're going to be stepping each crunch individually. So you're going to have your hands behind your temples. One heel's going to stay on the floor. Let's go. Great job. So you got 45 seconds off, but you're gonna have to get this bar back onto the top. I recommend a hang clean. Grab a little bit of water and get ready to go again with round 2. So bar on your traps, not on your neck. Still in a nice controlled tempo. Make sure your tailbone isn't excessively curling under at the bottom. It's okay to have a very subtle rounding. It's called a butt wink, but try not to make it too extreme or you'll probably feel a bit too much lower back pressure. So we're going to bring this bar onto the floor or onto a low JPEG on the racks. We've got that close grip floor press, so about shoulder width apart, maybe slightly closer. So tempo, we're going 1, 2, 3, and press. Make elbow contact with the floor. Your elbows shouldn't be flaring out too much. Great job. Onto the Romanian deadlifts next. So, technique points, bar stays close to the body, knee angle stays consistent. Make sure you're not rounding your back. Obviously we don't want to overarch either, but I think it's more common that people will round on this exercise. Push the hips back. Bar basically slides down, staying in contact with your body almost all the way, maybe just passing the knees. Got the bicycle crunch next. Just like on the V-ups, when you're in that open position, you shouldn't be arching your lower back off the mat. Great job, 2 rounds done. Just 1 to go in this second section. And we've got a third strength section where we'll be going up a little bit in weight again. If you're enjoying this workout and you'd like to train some more with me, maybe you want to follow more of a structured reps and sets plan, then check out my barbell ebook, which I'll link in the description of this video. It's got video demos for all the exercises, and it's got a full periodized program that you can follow. For now, let's finish this workout and get back on those back squats. Onto the floor press now. Onto your feet, we've got those Romanian deadlifts. Follow all those technique points I was talking about before. Lead the movement with the hips pushing backwards. Keep the bar close to your body. Unlock the knees, but don't change the angle once they're unlocked. Onto those controlled bicycle crunches. This is the final set. in this section. Great job, we've got a minute off, so I'm gonna go up to 60 kilos. That's about 132 pounds, but just use whatever's right for you. People often ask for what I'm using, I think just as a reference point. You're gonna need to be able to do a wide grip floor press or bench press if you've got a bench. You're gonna need to be able to do a sumo deadlift with it and something called a pendley row with it. So we're gonna start off with that sumo deadlift. If you need a bit longer to change the weights, just pause the video and rejoin me in a second. But for the sumo deadlift, we're gonna have your feet nice and wide, 45-degree turnout. And let's go. I don't like touch and go deadlifts, so I'm gonna reset every time, just to keep my back healthy. Just like the Romanian, you want the bar to travel really close to your body. They should start off with the bar over the tongues of your shoes. Okay, we've got that wide grip floor press, so you should be a bit stronger with a wider grip, so you can afford to do this with a slightly heavier weight than you were just using before. Whether you're using dumbbells, same rule apply. If you go wider with the grip, generally you'll get a little bit stronger. So wide grip floor press. So anything wider than shoulder width is fine, whatever feels good for you. So we've got a reverse crunch next. So you have your hands by your side. I like to have my head and shoulders slightly off the ground for a reverse crunch. You're gonna roll the knees, the quads up towards your chest. If your neck's getting achy though, just put your head on the floor, that's fine as well. When I'm lowering my legs down, just like I've been reminding you about, you're trying not to let your lower back arch off the floor. And actually with that one, the more bent your legs are, the closer your heels stay to your bum, the harder it's going to be. So straightening your legs on a reverse crunch is actually going to make it easier. Next up, we've got one of my favorites. We're going to do a pendley row. So it's like a bent over row, but you're going to start and finish with the weight on the floor. I'm going to pull it to make contact with my upper abs. I'm doing a little back reset as well. the bar's just coming up and down in a straight line. Trying to minimize the movement of the body. Oh. Well done, that was quite heavy. Okay, so we've got 45 seconds off, and then we're going back to those sumo deadlifts. As you can see, talking through the workout and doing the workout at the same time is somewhat of a challenge. I'm sure we'll get through it. We just have to forgive my out of breath advice. Okay, we're gonna go back to those sumo deadlifts. So we're gonna go feet quite wide, wider than your shoulder width. Turn out to the feet. I want the bar to start over the tongues of my shoes. Let's go. Don't worry too much about how many reps you do. Just make the reps look good. Got that wide grip floor press next. Onto the pendulum row. Now onto the reverse crunch, ignore that. We'll finish with the pendulum row. So you're going to be lying on your back on the mat, hands by your side, rolling your knees up towards your chest. Now we're onto the pendulum row. So bar onto the floor. So you're going to pull the bar in a straight line, keep your body nice and tight, keep your back nice and flat. You're going to rest the bar for a second on the floor in between reps. Breathe, brace for the rep. You can release tension for a second in between reps. Onto the final round of this strength section. If you haven't got any squat stands or you want a bigger selection of plates, I'll put some links in the description of this video. They are affiliate links, but it doesn't cost you any more to get them. And I found some plates and bars that I like the look of, and some of them may even have discount codes on them. So check that out if you're considering getting some new gear. Onto that wide grip floor press. So if you've got a bench, you could always do a bench press instead. Well done. Onto the reverse crunch next. So you can stay lying on the floor for these. Remember, the more bent your legs stay, the harder the exercise is gonna be. And if you're struggling, try straightening them out a little bit. Let's go. Finishing this third and final strength round with the pendley row. Next up, we've got something called an AMRAP. It's gonna be 10 minutes. It's as many rounds as possible. Don't worry about that yet. Great job. So we've got a minute off. I'm going to drop back down to 40 kilos. That's 88 pounds. And we're going to be doing a 10-minute AMRAP. So that's as many rounds as possible of 4 exercises. We're doing a deadlift, conventional deadlift. We're going to do a hang clean. We're going to do a split jerk. And we're going to do a leg raise. Now you're going to do 3 deadlifts, 3 hang cleans, 3 split jerks, and 8 leg raises. And you're going to do that as many times as possible in 10 minutes. If it doesn't make sense, don't worry, just copy me. You can follow along roughly at my pace if you haven't gone too heavy. So we're going 3 deadlifts. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come down just past my knees. Got 3 of these hang cleans. 2, 3. Then we got free split jerk. 1, use the same leg if you want. 2, 3. Now, I'm gonna come underneath the bar. I'm gonna do some leg raises. I'm gonna do 8, shins almost touching the bar. Head and shoulders slightly off the floor, maintaining some upper ab tension. There's 7 for me, and 8. And now you just repeat that as many times as you can. I'm gonna put a belt on and see if we can up this pace a bit. So go at your own pace, 3, 3, 3, and 8 on the leg raises. Attach the microphone back on. Guess that's one of the risks of doing hang cleans with a microphone clipped near your chest. You might knock the mic off. Let's keep it going though. 3 of the first 3 exercises. 3 hang cleans. Let's try the other leg on those split jerks. All right, so I've done 3 rounds and it's taken me about 5 minutes, so should be going, well, 4 minutes. Should be going for at least 6 rounds. Make sure you count your hang cleans so you don't do an extra one like me. So you can take breaks, so it doesn't have to be 10 continuous minutes. It's just as many as you can do with the weight you've got and your fitness level. So I'm going to take a slight break
Just while I fix this.
and get some water. But I'm on 4 rounds so far, so let's see if we can make it 6. Well done. I'm sure some of you are flying ahead. I always see comments of people telling me how many rounds, but it's usually more than I did. But I'm doing my best. All right, maybe 1.5 rounds. Maybe I could sneak 2 in. So we're going to work right to the buzzer. Still got time left, so I think I've just done maybe 6 rounds. I've lost count now, I'll watch it back. All right, well done. Don't go anywhere. We've got some stretches to do just to finish off. I'm actually going to use the barbell for one of these stretches. So I'm going to take the weight off my bar. And then I just want you to sit on the floor in this straddle position. And then if you're struggling, go for a bent leg variation like this. We're just gonna hold this barbell straddle, often called a pancake. So I'm gonna go for that straighter leg variation. Don't worry if the bar rolls up. You're just holding onto that bar, feeling the stretch down the inside of the legs. I'm actually gonna bend my legs a bit so I can keep a little bit more length to my back rather than rounding forward so much. We've got 5 45-second stretches, so not too many. All right, next up, we're gonna do a kneeling prayer stretch. This actually works really well on a bench, but I'm gonna show you the floor variation. So you're gonna go quite wide with the knees, put the points of your elbow nice and far. I'm gonna drop down and put the hands behind the head. We've got a shoulder extension next. I actually quite like using the barbell for this one. You could just do it with your hands. I'm gonna put my hand on the bar, palms facing forwards. We're just gonna roll back until we feel that shoulder stretch, keeping the chest nice and proud. So we're feeling front of your shoulder, a little bit of bicep. Just slow your breathing down and relax into it. If you're not using the bar, you can just put your hands on the floor like that. Okay, from here, we're gonna lie on your back, hook one foot over the other, and you can gently pull that knee up and across towards the opposite shoulder. These are the final 2 stretches. If you want to hold onto the foot and reach through like this or under the hamstring, that's fine. As long as you feel the stretch in your glute piriformis. I don't mind whether you do this variation or if you're just hugging that knee towards your chest. Again, a little bit of a glute and piriformis release helps keep tension out of your lower back. Okay, we're going to switch to the other side. So one leg crosses over the other. We're either just gently pulling that knee up and across towards the opposite shoulder, or we're reaching through like this. As I said before, if you'd enjoyed working out with me, but you fancy following more of a structured sets and reps strength plan, check out my barbell ebook, which I've linked in the description of this video. It's got video demos for all the exercises. It's got like a program periodization throughout that you can follow, and you've got email support with me throughout your plan. Keep holding a couple more seconds on this stretch. And done. And that's a wrap. Thanks so much for joining me for that 60-minute barbell workout. Let me know in the comments below, how did you find that workout and where in the world are you doing the workout from? I honestly do enjoy hearing where people are following along from. Hit the thumbs up button, make sure you subscribed, and see you again soon for another workout.